Hey guys, I thought I'd do a little Hot Wheels video tonight. I've been waiting to do this one because I had one car left to get for this set before I could finally do this video. And this one's going to be a little bit different because I've seen several of the Hot Wheels collectors showing off this set and kind of looking at it just from the Hot Wheels aspect of it. I thought I would do this one and give a little bit of information as to the card art and kind of the significance of some of the stuff that's going on here. So this is going to be on the Walmart exclusive Spider-Man set. Now, this is a set that was a must-have for me. Not necessarily because of the cars, but strictly because of the card art. I think that Mattel probably worked very closely with Marvel and really thought out the not just the castings, but just the actual card art and what they were going to show. So this is the first one in the set. This is the Street Creeper. Pretty decent casting. I know this is one of those castings I think that Rob would really like. Very typical classic Spider-Man colors. You've got the little Spider-Man tempo there on the side. The card art, this is actually, if memory serves me correct, I believe this one depicts basically kind of like an origin or like beginning. This is, it says, though the world may mock Peter Parker, the timid teenager, it will soon marvel at the awesome might of Spider-Man. So this is kind of the first, like, kind of origin of Spider-Man, is what they were going through with this artwork here. And it makes sense, first Spider-Man, first card in the set, so it's pretty cool. This one here is the eye candy. Depicts the Green Goblin here with Peter Parker / Spider-Man. I think that's a pretty appropriate casting for the Green Goblin. The colors are really awesome. And this one simply depicts, we're going in chronological order here. This is kind of the Silver Age Spider-Man era, which is where Green Goblin was kind of first surfaced. And so you have here just kind of depicting this classic battle between him and Spider-Man there. But they really picked a good casting for that particular character, for that particular card art there. Then we're kind of getting to the era of Spider-Man. Well, there's one left in this set where I kind of jumped off for quite a while. This is the last one until we get to the last card in the set. This one depicts birth of Venom. And all of these are pretty poignant, important points in the kind of the Spider-Man history. So this is the Etorium. I don't know. It's an okay casting. It's probably not my favorite. I do like the tampos there, the Venom's mouth. The eyes probably should have been set a little further apart. But the card art, that's from, I believe, Venom #1. Again, I have that somewhere in my comic boxes. I was going to pull that out, but there's an interesting thing. That was one of those books that back when they started getting really popular to do the foil stamping, and if I remember correctly, there was a batch of errors of this particular issue that came out where it didn't get that, and the background was all black. I remember I was probably in high school, I think, when that came out, and that was kind of when I first started getting into errors and kind of first appearances of things, and that's a pretty significant point in his history. It's probably one of his most popular enemies / I guess at times allies, but very interesting character for Marvel. Again, we're getting into an era here for the next few cars that I had to do a little research on just to brush up, because I haven't really done the comic book thing in a while. But this one, I wrote down the name. Where did I put my notes? Dying Wish. That was this was a I think a 3-issue story that came out. Oh, I think it was just a few years ago. It hasn't been that long ago. Ended with Amazing Spider-Man number 700, I believe. And basically, the storyline is that Doc Ock is on his deathbed from all his various years of being a supervillain and getting beat up and injured and all that sort of stuff. And I'll have to go and maybe read the actual story, but the gist of it is somehow he is able to transfer his consciousness into Peter Parker, and Peter Parker's into his dying body. And apparently the storyline ended with Octavius' body dying with Peter Parker's consciousness in it. And if that's a spoiler for anyone, oh well, sorry. Spider Rider, not my favorite casting. It's kind of, I mean, I know, okay, Spider-Man. So, but anyways, I believe this was the cover art for that issue 700, that final issue. And then Doc Ock continues in Peter Parker's body to be Spider-Man and try to be a better Spider-Man and a better person than he was. Number 5 in the series, Hammered Coupe. This is the this is the Iron Spider armor. This is the Civil War Spider-Man. There was a storyline a few years back where within the Marvel Universe, the government wanted to have all superpowered beings registered. And for a time, Spider-Man was on the side of the superheroes that were for it. And I believe Peter Parker just about died in one of the battles, and Tony Stark ended up making him this armor. Of course, it's in the Iron Man colors. I believe that there is a different character within the Marvel Universe that is that wears that armor currently. But again, it's from a period that I haven't really collected the comics, but I mean, I keep up here and there. I just don't read the comics because I can't afford another collection. But it's a pretty decent casting. I think it's pretty appropriate for the theme and the color scheme of this particular issue. The next one, number 6 in the series, the Fire Eater. Oh man, and this one is heavy. I know the body is metal. I'm thinking that the base might be metal on this too, because I mean it is heavy. And considering that it depicts Rhino, who is, I mean, you can see from the picture, one of the kind of the biggest, most heavy-hitting villain he's got. That's pretty appropriate. This one is Ultimate Spider-Man, which is, I think, is one of the cartoon series that's been out in the last couple of years. Which again, I haven't kept up with the cartoons at all, but that's where this card art comes from. So that one's actually not comic related; it's TV related. But again, I mean, I don't know if Fire Eater was necessarily the best choice for a Rhino, but at the same time, it's a pretty heavy, hefty-duty vehicle, and you know, I guess it makes sense. I like the tampos with the Rhino's face there on the side. It's pretty cool. Number 7, the Shredster. Not a bad casting for this. This cover is Superior Spider-Man, which actually has a connection to this one, because I believe once Doc Ock, who is now in Peter Parker's body, kind of takes up the mantle of Spider-Man, he kind of refers to himself as the Superior Spider-Man, because he's trying to be a better hero and a better person than he feels that Spider-Man and Peter Parker were. So that's where this particular one, again, it's one I don't know. I mean, I haven't read the stories, but that's just from my research on that. And then the final one, there's much debate about this car, and this is the one that I had to wait on to do this video. The number 8 car, the Evil Twin, which apparently, Hot Wheels collectors hate this casting. I actually think it's pretty cool. And it's very fitting. There's a lot of little... When you know your Spider-Man, you'll understand some of the things and why they chose this stuff. So, number 8 in the series depicts a specific comic book that, honestly, I would argue is probably the most significant point. One of the most, if not like the top type, probably 2 or 3 most significant points in Spider-Man's history. And that is Secret Wars number 8, issue number 8. Here's the actual comic. I've had this for quite a while. If I got this when I was in the hospital with a ruptured appendix when I was a kid. Secret Wars number 8. There's the full cover there. Car number 8 in the series. So 8 and 8. And again, it's a pretty significant point in his history, because this miniseries is where this being called the Beyonder, this omnipotent, omniscient being, brings all of the villains and superheroes to this little base, this little planet, and he's just got them all kind of fighting each other. And in this issue, I'm not going to get it out right now, Spider-Man comes in from a battle and his costume's all torn up, and he sees where one of the other characters has gone in and gotten a new costume. And they say, yeah, it's in there. You just go in and you think about it and it gives you a new costume. So he goes in and he thinks about a new costume, and he gets this little black dot that when he touches it, envelops him and becomes his infamous black costume. Evil Twin. Again, I think is a very good selection of a casting for this, because, as you know, if you know about the story, that black costume is the symbiote that eventually becomes Venom down the road. And if you've seen the movies or if you've read the comics, you'll know that the symbiote, the Venom symbiote, is kind of turning Peter Parker a little bit evil twin. And it eventually, Peter Parker finds a way to fight the symbiote and separates himself from the symbiote, and it attaches himself to Eddie Brock. And then we come back over here to Birth of Venom. So yeah, and also this particular car, I've seen many postings online, and a lot of people say that this was a chase car for the set. I still think I'm still not entirely sure that's true. Mainly because normally when they do these, like you'll see on the back of the card, no, this is on all the back of the cards, it shows all of the cars in the set. And I know that these types of sets, like the Superman one that Kroger had last year, there was a chase car in that set, the Phantasm, that was all translucent green, like kryptonite. It wasn't pictured on the back. And the other ones that I've kind of had experience with, the chase car wasn't pictured on the back. However, on this one, the Evil Twin is there. Also, the postings that I saw online, people were only finding 1 or 2 of these in a shipper, and plenty of the others. And other guys were saying that they found, a dozen of these in the shipper, and maybe only 1 or 2. In fact, the post specifically said that they found a dozen or so of these in the shipper, but only a couple of these. I think, honestly, what ended up happening is that this particular car, there must have been some sort of mistake in the packaging before they sent these out. And the prices online became ridiculous to get this. Honestly, in the end, all it took was trading off a couple of homers to get a hold of this guy, and I was very thankful to get this one. I'm still trying to find someone that's got one more that I can trade to try to track one down for Rob, but anyway, so I just thought that would be kind of an interesting take. Like I said, I've seen videos on these cars, and mostly all they talk about are the castings and the colors and the tampos. They don't really talk about kind of the comic history and why these particular colors, or these particular art was chosen for the cards, and kind of how they relate to one another. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.